highly eventful. It is currently 2 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Western Time. I still have not gone to sleep from yesterday because we were really busy at work and I was having a hard time keeping up with my paperwork. And as most medics know, especially ones that have worked in a big city where you're running literally 2 to 3 calls in an hour, that can be challenging sometimes, especially if you just keep moving and you just keep running and you just keep getting these calls that are extraordinarily detailed and your paperwork literally suffers. So I've had maybe 3 hours of sleep in the last almost 48. So right now my sleeping pattern is completely jacked. But this is the first time I have been home for longer than 24 hours in 2 weeks. So anyway, so let me explain how my day went. I got home somewhere in the vicinity of 1400, which for non-military or even non-EMS fire and PD, that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got home. I was excited. I was unloading my car. Everything was going great. And then I went up to my back porch to let my dog outside to go to the bathroom. And the first thing that I see when I look up is that there is a 50-foot gap in my fence line. Not 50 foot, it may be 20. And then there's like a 50-foot section that is completely burned. Like somebody set fire to my back fence by the railroad tracks. And I had no idea. So it was really, really a big shock for me. As soon as I get home, I see this huge mess. I have no idea what happened. Never heard anything from police. Never heard anything from the fire department. Oh, and let me just throw this little bomb in. My landlord doesn't even know what happened at all. Not a clue. So I had to call the county police department. I tried contacting fire, but it is a Sunday, so the office was closed. So my landlord got contacted next. I called her and her daughter came over, and we ended up having to drive to 2 different fire stations to find out any information. Like, I don't know, a key thing, what day the fire was. Couldn't get a hold of one set of my neighbors. My other neighbors thought I already knew about the situation, which made things so confusing because, if there's a fire at my house, you would think that I would have dropped everything at work to come home and deal with the mess. So it was a little confusing and very, very frustrating for me because now instead of coming home, unloading my car, cleaning my house a little bit, taking a shower, and then going to see one of my girlfriends whose birthday was yesterday, and I couldn't make it to her birthday party, which made it 10 times worse, and it made me feel even worse because I had to work. I couldn't take off. So anyway, I had to deal with all this on top of the calls that I had to do, and these calls, it wasn't like these calls were complete and utter baloney. These were actually legitimate calls that people's lives were on the line. And we had, split second decisions had to be made. And so anyway, it just, if you're a medic or an EMT or a firefighter or a police officer or military that's been deployed before, you understand how that goes. There's always something that your stress levels go from to oh. So anyway, dealing with this, we're trying to figure out what's going on. The police department finally calls me back, I don't know, 4 hours after I originally called. And the officer told me he was going to contact me and he was going to come by my house in half an hour, take some pictures of the backyard, and then try and find out what happened. we still don't know. Fire proceeded to tell me that if they thought something was funny or fishy, they would have done an investigation. Well, let me explain. My house is in a corner of a little loop right up against railroad tracks, and there's a dog park on the other side of my fence line closer to homes. You don't think there's something fishy about all of a sudden a patch of that area gets, I don't know, burned? I mean, it burned up my tree that was in the corner of my yard. And they didn't think that was fishy at all. At all. And so it was just one of those things that I kind of just, it makes me wonder, well, where was your brain when you were thinking this? You know, I mean, come on, this is not exactly a rocket science. We don't know how the fire started, nothing. All I know is this fire started literally the day I left here last Sunday at 1900, so 7 p.m. I left that morning at 4 o'clock in the morning to go back to work. Okay, so anyway, like I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and just a heads up, I obviously cannot show you what it looks like in live time, but I did take pictures that I could send to my landlord, and also to my husband, who currently is not in the state of Oregon. And we're both sitting here going, well, okay, this has not been exactly ideal situation for me to handle by myself, or even with him. Neither one of us knew what was going on. So anyway, I am going to actually show you what the pictures look like, so you can see this awesome how this little layout looks, and how poorly, because it just makes you wonder, it's like, what? Anyway, so here's the pictures. I need to flip the camera around, maybe. So apparently it's operator error. I have no idea how. I did not know how to flip my camera around. But this right here is literally the corner of my yard. This tree is completely burned up on the opposite side that's facing the railroad tracks. This is like, the burn actually stops further that way. So all this was burned. And then this is picture number, however, 2. This is a section of my fence that obviously got kicked down into that gully to keep the fire from spreading further that way, apparently. And then this is the other side. All of that is burned. Literally, all of this on this side, all my branches, all my branches and stuff, that is all burned. Like that right here. I mean, and this is all supposed to be blackberries. Like all of these were blackberry, like this is all used to be blackberry bushes here. Like you can see where it stops. And at first I thought maybe they were doing a controlled burn, but no, there was no controlled burn, because if you did a controlled burn, it would actually be a line. And yeah, so anyway, just one little section of this blackberry bush and my fence was burned. So anyway, the other picture you saw that I accidentally swung to, it's actually a meme. So it's not dead bodies, I promise. Those are all mannequins. It just says what the public calls in and what we roll up on. So anyway, but back to the situation at hand. This is what I came home to after an extraordinarily long 2 weeks at work with only a 24-hour reprieve in between. So yeah, it's been an awesome. So it's one of those times that you just will go, why does this have to happen? It's insane. So anyway, and it's just been like the last 3 days, it's just not been fun. It's just been, and like I said, I finished my shopping haul video, and I need to actually edit it and get it all together, which I'm going to have to do with this one. But here's another thing. I wrote my sister-in-law, who is currently deployed into the Middle East, in like mid-March, and then I've sent her multiple little packages that have letters in them. She wrote me one letter. My sister-in-law wrote me one letter mid-March. Hey guys, so I'm super sorry. I had to cut that little section of the video out because it actually had my address and my sister-in-law's address on it. So here are the pictures from the fire. Hey, and it's like, holy crap! How is that possible? That took forever. So anyway, welcome to my life, daily vlog. And this is the way I started it. So I truly hope that everybody else's day went much better than mine did. So anyway, have a great day. I am going to try and get some sleep, and I'm probably going to take a very hot shower and calm down. So have a good night.